A giant tortoise is built like a boulder. A marine iguana is girded in body armor. But these creatures, like the natural systems they are a part of, are fragile as blossoms tossed by the equatorial wind.
It's a distinctive group of animals and plants that occurs, many of them occur nowhere else in the world, and so there's value in knowing that they're there and knowing how they evolve.
Today we are on Genovesa Island, and Genovesa is the jewel of the crown in the Galápagos Islands. This is an island where, in the best day, you can find up to 500,000 birds, between boobies, frigates, mockingbirds, doves, finches, and every single bird that you have in here. He's alive. He's just pretending to be dead. If you're dead, then the frigates are not going to bother trying to steal the food from you. It's like when you pretend to be asleep when your parents are calling you to go to school. Something like that.
The unique organisms of Galapagos are not only spectacular, but approachable. Due to the influence of evolution and isolation, they not only lack the fear of humans, but seem to trust us. Whether that's wise or not, it illustrates a salient point. It's conservation, not evolution, that now keeps these animals insulated from the onslaught of human curiosity and encroachment.
We're total nature freaks.
Nature freaks, we are. And we're trying to raise our grandchildren in the same tradition. It's part of our indoctrination process, basically.
The history of the Galapagos is littered with tales of human incursion. Melville's novel Moby Dick was inspired by true events that took place here, and Robinson Crusoe is based upon a sailor stranded in the islands. But the non-fictional history of the archipelago qualifies as a horror story, a sordid telling of human carelessness and avarice. Many of the giant tortoises that flourished in the islands before human colonization were decimated by hungry sailors who herded hundreds of them at a time aboard their ships to serve as living food pantries. The goats those sailors left behind grew to be such a prolific and ponderous exotic that they eventually had to be eliminated by helicoptering riflemen. Guava trees and blackberry brambles currently threaten to overrun the natural habitat and choke the food plants that the endemic wildlife depends upon. Even today, the fear of exotic invaders leads flight attendants to douse the overhead luggage bins with bug spray before landing. What took 3.2 million years to perfect is threatened by a paltry few hundred years of human ignorance.
I think it's an incredible success story that they have actually conserved it and there's tightly regulating access to it. But it could disappear overnight were it to be commercialized to a greater extent, or if there wasn't that same sensitivity.
There's a lesson here that applies lots of places, and that is it's a lot easier to protect things and keep them from becoming altered rather than trying to go back in retroactively and fix them, because that's extremely difficult and often impossible to do.
Our world is an amazing, unique place and an amazing ecosystem as a whole, and in order to keep it alive and keep it as beautiful as it is today, we have to conserve and we have to bring awareness to other people about the importance of places like this.
So as these legendary islands rise in the west and set in the east, riding the Nazca Plate as it slides in a volcanic huff under South America, and the plankton-rich currents converge upon novelty and history, let us remember, we are the strangers in this strange new land, but Galapagos will live or die by the kindness and conscientiousness of strangers.
It's like we're the caretakers, and if we do our job correctly, then they'll be here. But if we don't, we dare not take it for granted.
Steve Betchko, CBC TV.